What's up everybody? In this video we're going to take a look at cleaning out the bowls of the carburetors and compare them with the old ones and hopefully deal with the oil leak issue inside the airbox. So check it out. So yesterday I opened up one of the carburetors at the bottom, one of the full bowls for carburetor 1, and started pulling things out. So first thing of diagnosis here is that the floater and the float valve actually function pretty well. We have the old one over here, which seems to be a bit more springy, so maybe it'll be a good idea to swap those out just to make sure that that is actually reacting as quick as it should be. Then we have the main jet, which I took out of here. The main jet on the new carburetor, or on these carburetors, the 1982, the main jet is a 132. Now on the old ones, I remember the number being different, so I pulled up one of them, and lo and behold, I find that this one is actually a 135. So that means that these in here have actually been upped in size, which is interesting, because I guess maybe the person tried to accommodate for the bigger volume of air, or maybe on the 1983 Honda changed them out. So that's good. I have slightly bigger jets from this one that I could potentially use on this one, should I find that there isn't enough fueling. Either way, the main jet, like I said, pretty clean. So I'm going to put that back in. We don't lose it. Now the idle jet, which I believe might actually be an issue. I can take that out. Idle jet seems okay, and this one actually is a 138. So where the big one was 132, 135, we have 138, and this one just needs a little bit of cleaning actually. I think these might be too small for that. But yeah, my theory is that these idle jets might actually be too small, but we definitely have an air leak, so I want to deal with that first before trying to pump more fuel into this guy. So let's, I guess, deal with this first. Yeah, it's a tiny asshole. But whatever. At least we have options, right? Okay, so that's green. Just for comparison, again, this one is a 38. On the other carburetors, I believe those are 40. that. So the old one, yes, that's a 40. So definitely the jets on the old bike, on the parts bike, have been upped 2 sizes. 2 sizes in the idle and 3 sizes in the main jet. Which, okay, we don't know if that's stock. I'll probably do some research to see what the hell, why indeed is that the case. But either way, like I said, this carburetor one, actually the flow bowl looks pretty good. So we're going to close that back up. Yeah, so I'll close this up and move on to the next ones. Alright, now on to carburetor 3. I just took out the screws. Again, the gasket looks pretty new and pretty decent condition. It smells of fuel, so that's good. So that we'll reuse. Definitely don't need any changes there. Okay, floater. Again, compared to this one, like the ones on the old one are definitely a lot springier. Which I'm assuming what was done was, along with the jets, the flow valves were replaced on this one. Hence why they work so well. And this one is, like, you can see how this one is very well. Let me actually show you. So if we look at closely, looking at this one, it just comes up, right? Looking at this one, it actually bounces up. So this one is a lot more springy than this. So I think it might be a good idea to actually replace these before I even reassemble the whole thing, because that should be coming up much faster than that. Either way, let's see if there's anything else that's majorly wrong with things. So we resolve that first. One problem at a time. So looking at the jets on this one, main jet, again the 132, pretty clean. I don't think it even needs yeah, all the ports on it are clean. Yeah, this one's good, so no need to change anything. Idle jet, that one might need a little bit of a spray. That's if I can unscrew it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Idle jet, again it's a 38. Very hard to see. Apparently it's really wet and can't really tell if it's clogged or not. But a little bit of carb cleaner shouldn't hurt. That's right off. Yeah. Got it. So clean hole in here. Side jets are good. Yeah, this is pretty decent condition. Spray some in here just to get things flowing. on to carburetor 2. Alright, on to carburetor 2. So, yeah. What the hell? That's stuck. That's interesting. Okay, so this had something else on it. Oh, what the hell is that? This had like glue or some weird grease. Okay, well, that's unusual. Same thing we see here. The flow valve is kind of slow compared to the ones in the other one. Not as bouncy. But my main concern is this like weird grease on here. It's like a gray grease. I'm guessing that was on there because this gasket doesn't seal properly. But it seems to like keep the gasket in place, which is weird. It's like sticky. Just close that carburetor cleaner. Wipe it off. So there's like this weird like residue inside, like something like leaked in there. So that's kind of weird. Yeah, this is like sticky and stuff. So it seems like, which one is this? This is 2. 2 is, which way was this? 2 is on the right hand side of the motorcycle. Weird. I don't know why that would be. Yeah, this, it's like really sticky substance. Like scrape it off or something. Yeah, I can see how this could get in. I wouldn't be surprised if the jets on this one are pretty clogged up. So, yeah. And yeah, gotta get that off. Well, it seems like we're gonna need one gasket for this to make sure that this stuff is actually sealing properly. I mean, unfortunately the gaskets on the old one, they're not in the best of condition. I mean, just as a comparison, they are thicker. I'll give them that. Maybe I can use one of them to get this to seal properly instead of this one. But that's if I can get this one out of there, because it seems to be glued. Like, look at this. Like, that should not take that much force to come out. Because the grease is like literally gluing it in place. So, yeah. We'll see what we'll do with this. For now, I know it's not good and I need to clean this. Before we do too much with that though, let's take a look at the jets, because they're the bigger issue. Or if there is an issue, it's with them. Primary jets looks decent. Again, I'm on 32, pretty clean. Yep, that's good. What at the idle jet. Okay. Got that freaking grease on all over my screwdriver now. Okay. Idle jet. That's a 38. It seems to have a clean hole, but probably wouldn't hurt to give it a little scrub. Okay. That's a tiny hole. Okay, well that's good. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one open because it needs a lot of scrubbing, and let's move on to the last guy. Okay, and now the last carburetor, number 4. And of course that one is fucking glued as well. Why would someone do this? I mean, I'm sure it seals, but that's no way to do this. So it seems like the person that maintained this, instead of opting to buy new parts, went with using this gray glue grease type thing to seal things. So given that we didn't have it on these two, and we have it on these two, I'm gonna guess like both gaskets on these are garbage. So yeah, this needs more scrubbing. The flow valve, yeah, it doesn't come up as quick. So that's whatever. The main jet, let's take a look at that. Seems good condition, clean. That's also 132. Seems fine. Jet. Side ports are clean. Down the center. Pretty big hole. Now, interesting enough, this one looks like there's a much bigger hole down the center than this one and this one. So these will probably take a little bit of blowing through and cleaning, because really that should be like spotless in there, right? So we'll see how that goes. It may turn out that it's essentially starving the engine on 2 out of the 4 carburetors due to the idle jet not being open enough, and also the floater valves not opening up enough so that we actually have fuel flowing through quick enough. So it seems like it's just not doing that. is a hole through, so that's good. Now, how clean that hole is a whole different story. Okay, so that's the diagnosis on this side. So it seems like what we need is all 4 floater valves will be replaced, and I'll probably take the ones from this one because they seem to be in a much more better condition. The idle jet, the jets we're not going to touch, we're just going to blow them through a bit better. The carburetor 2 and 4, we'll scrub all this like grease, glue, whatever it is off of it, clean it out, and probably replace the gaskets with the gaskets from this one. And while I'm at it, I might as well replace, well, actually we'll see how the gaskets on all 4 here are. Maybe I'll use some of them on these, because these 2 seem to be sealing properly. So it's on these ones that will probably need it. Another thing that I noticed, this throttle adjuster here, I don't know what happened to it, but it seems to have burned and melted a little bit. So what I might do is I might just replace it with this one, because this one's much like better, just to have a nice like clean amount of work done on here. And yeah, it seems like that glue has been like leaked onto the floater, so we'll need to clean the floater too. So that's kind of where we stand. Alright guys, so after doing a little bit of research on the oil in the airbox issue, I came across something called blow-by, which literally means that the emission system that is supposed to circulate unburned gases from the engine back into the airbox is essentially filled up and is now pumping oil back into the airbox. So to show you where this is, from the engine case there is a tube that runs down to this little guy here. So this is the breather box. This is supposed to collect, or breather separator, whatever you want to call it. This is supposed to separate the oil and fluid and condensation from the gases and unburned stuff that flows out of the case and collect it in here. And from it there's a hose that runs up, which I'm not sure if you can see. Actually, well, it goes from here, so this big hose up, and then remember that hose that I unplugged at the top? I'm willing to bet that that hose is the one that's been spitting oil back into the thing. Now this hose seems to be pretty cracked, as you can see, so it might need a good replacing. But for now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to drain this little guy to get all that fluid out of there. This is supposed to be a regular maintenance item, so we'll try to get that out of there, and fingers crossed, after I'm done with the carburetors, hopefully things should start back up without oil flowing into them. Alright, finally get something to actually flow all this fluid with. There we go. I mean, you guys can see what the fuck's coming out of there. Like, that is not good. And it should have been drained. So, good news is that I think that solves my issue. That is definitely the same oily liquid that I found in the airbox. So, after this guy's drained, I hope to not have to see oil again in there. And I'll just have to make sure that this is drained regularly. And yeah, so just so you guys can see, it's like this brown sludge, just mostly oil. Like,
Yeah.
Alright guys, so today was a much more productive day. We figured out some of the minor issues with the carburetors. So we know that the float valves are not as springy as they should be. We know that two of the carburetors, their gaskets on the float bowls were pretty much glued, so we'll need to replace those. And the jets are smaller than the ones in the other bike, which could be just the way that Honda designed it, or it could be that the other bike had them replaced. Either way, the ones in the other bike are slightly bigger, so we can definitely bump those up should we need to. And the last thing was the draining the breather separator. So that should definitely get rid of the mud and sludge and oil that we were getting pumped back into the airbox. So we should be in a good position to actually get the bike hopefully restarted once I get those replaced. Now the other thing that I forgot to mention is the rubber boots on the carburetors. So those I've ordered already, and they will take a bit of time to get in, but hopefully by next episode we'll have that going as well. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and click the little bell to get notifications when new videos become available. Make sure to check me out on Instagram at BalkanMoto2018, and check out www.balkanmoto.com, where I post articles accompanying each of these videos with more pictures and details about what I found and what I've ordered and things of that matter. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.